let's talk about Xbox predictions now. Uh, Xbox predictions were, I feel like we were talking about this earlier, at least for me. My Xbox predictions are probably the same ones that many people have said, but that's because there's really not much we can predict for Xbox outside of what we already know. And it's really about how specific we want to get with what we already know. So when it comes to first party, I'll go first. Uh, what I want to go with here for them. I'll say this. And I'll start with a wild one for Xbox first party because honestly, it's wild for their first party, but honest in grand scheme, I don't think it's like a crazy prediction. I think we see a first proper look at Indiana Jones. Now, here's the thing. I don't think it's straight up gameplay. It's probably a cinematic trailer or at the very least an in-engine trailer of sorts, but I don't think we get raw gameplay. We don't get a release window either because I think Xbox doesn't want to burn themselves by announcing a year and then the game gets delayed or anything like that. And when this game was first announced back in 2021, it was literally just like that panning moving art type thing where it's like, hey, it's the thing that is being made. So I think
Yeah.
it's too early to give a date or anything like that. It's just meant to be like, hey, here's a look at the game. Here's a bit more of an idea of the premise of it. Here's what our Indiana Jones looks like. You can expect it to be coming sometime soon. But I don't think they give a date on that because they have
If
all these other games that they need to put dates on that are coming sooner than that.
yeah, if there's nothing new, then that's what they end the show on. If there's like
Potentially.
not anything crazy new, because that one will get a big pop. I predicted this last year on my video that I thought Indiana Jones was going to show up. So of course it'd be 1 year late. That's a good one. I had forgot about that one. Um, I'll start off easy. I'll go. I think this game has to come out soon.
Mhm.
Based off what we've seen and Hellblade sequel,
Yeah, I have
Blade
that.
2. Um, just obvious, like trying to ramp up a little bit here, even though like I don't have anything that crazy for Xbox. But yeah, I that one's just a slam dunk. Give me the point there. I think it has to show up, and I think it has to be out relatively soon, within 12 months for sure.
Yeah, I have it on my list as well. I think they're giving it a November date, November 2023. I don't.
It
I'm
makes a lot of
saying,
sense.
yeah, like right now, I just have November 2023 release window. I don't know if they say a specific like day and date in November, but I think they say November of this
Give
year.
me, give me December. The reason why I
I
say that is because November's a crowded field.
true.
And also, yeah, it's low key enough that I like they don't want it to die, but it could still get a pop. And they definitely don't want I like it's weird because they I think they know that it needs the limelight, but they don't want it like so in the limelight that's competing with the big guns. I think December would make a lot of sense, or I that or October. I think they avoid November because November's traditionally you're going up against COD, you're going up against like the big guns. Like that is the month that everyone kind of stakes their claim. So I think yeah, I would go December, October, or it's maybe February, April, or Marchish of next year.
Okay, no, I think it's a this year
No
game.
later than next summer. They straight up can't have that shit taken any longer.
No, I think it's this year. I say November, but December also sounds very good for the reasons you listed. Um, my next one, I'm going to say here that I'm going to say Fable. We're getting a trailer for that gameplay trailer for this game, and it's getting a spring 2024 release window. No specific month, just spring.
I'm not convinced of the timing for that one as much because we haven't seen shit, but it's
Mhm.
got to be here. Like that's the thing. I think the most important part to reiterate with Xbox is probably going to list a lot of existing games that we haven't seen a lot of, and other than Hellblade, I don't feel comfortable staking a claim and like this one is this close, this one, and then obviously Starfield, of course, but which that's interesting. Like I don't think either of us are going to predict it, but do
I
you
have
think he
nothing
shows
for
up?
them.
Yeah, do you
Starfield,
think
they
he
already
shows
said
up?
it. Starfield has its own direct. We talked about it before.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like I don't have any predictions for it. It's gonna be a deep dive, do your thing, whatever, whatever. It's coming out September. Cool.
Thank God, because I don't have to pretend to care about it.
Hater. All right. So
I,
what's your next one then?
uh, let's go with another. easier one, um, go Avowed. I think Avowed shows up.
I was literally gonna say that, but I said Fable instead.
Just yeah, interchangeable. I think we've seen more of Avowed than Fable, right?
No, we have seen just about the same amount. A cinematic trailer
Okay,
for both.
yeah.
That's it. We just saw
Uh,
Avowed earlier. I think it was earlier. It
yeah.
might be the same show.
I don't know which one of those is easier to mass produce or not mass produce, but like put out there quicker. But I feel like Avowed got officially announced earlier, right?
That's the thing. I feel like it was either this. I feel like it was the same show. It was the same year.
What's
That's for
yeah,
certain.
what's the order? That's what's fascinating to me is like what like seeing which studio puts this stuff out for, because like
Yeah.
Xbox really has gone out of their way to reiterate that they're not like rushing timelines, et cetera, et cetera. But very interesting that like yeah, that like what's gonna come out. And it's interesting that like Redfall wasn't necessarily announced earlier than any of them, but like Microsoft, I think smartly noticed that like that game extra time in the cooker was not gonna make the difference. And they were like, yeah, just push it out. Um, but yeah, I think Avowed, I all these games, we should get gameplay and rough
Definitely.
windows.
Yeah.
You don't have to give us dates, Microsoft, but like if Avowed's not till 2025, I guess maybe don't show it. But like, or if it's early 2025, you say like, hey, it is spring 2025. Be realistic. I think that could
Yeah.
go a long way too. If we get all of these games, but they're sprinkled into time slots that make sense, if you can
Mm-hmm.
let us see the vision a little bit just by giving us broad, vague dates, everything
Yes.
spring, summer,
Seasons.
winter,
That's
yeah,
literally how I
exactly,
did
of
mine.
of each year and lay out a roadmap where you go, yeah, some of these are far out, but like we got 10 games and we can kind of see that roadmap. I think that goes a long way towards trusting the process because we get to see the process now. We get to see what your vision has been.
Yeah.
Um, but I'll say this. I think of that we get Avowed before Fable.
Fair. I put Fable for spring 2024, and like I have here my Avowed one. I have as fall 2024. They honestly I feel like they could be interchangeable. Uh, Maybe Avowed is first just because it is Obsidian, and there's a bit more trust in Obsidian than there is. Not to say that we don't trust Playground, but it's a completely new thing for them and all. And I think there might have been some development trouble there. So I would put more faith in Obsidian getting Avowed out sooner than Fable is. Uh, but still, I wouldn't be surprised. I have fall 2024 is what it is. I think that is also their big fall game of next year because I think next year is the year where they want to try to be like, okay, big game each quarter. Avowed is the fall one. I think Fable is the spring one. And I have a summer one as well. I don't have a winter one, but I think Avowed is the fall one. So that's so
Nice. All
that's
right. What's number 3 for you?
one, two. All right. So three is for me. We'll talk about that summer one right now. I think Perfect Dark gameplay reveal summer of next year. That might be a bit ambitious because again, that one also having development troubles as well. We all know that, but I think it could be a next year game. At the very least, we are seeing gameplay, but I think we see gameplay, and they put summer 2024 on it. And here's the thing with each of these date windows that I'm giving for these Xbox games, I think they're putting them on there because that's when they want them to come out. I would not be surprised if at least two of these slip out of their date, out their windows that they're giving them. I think it's just like this is the space that we want to claim for it right now. We think it'll happen, then we want it to happen then. I would not be surprised if it doesn't actually happen then though. Especially like Perfect Dark and Fable specifically, I would not be surprised if they end up getting delayed past whatever initial time frame they are given. But I'm thinking Perfect Dark in the summer, Fable in the spring, Avowed in the fall, whatever you want to have in the winter at the beginning and end of the year is whatever it is. Uh, that's
Yeah,
why I'm. That's how I'm mapping out Xbox.
makes sense. What do I want to go with next? I've got like two in mind, but I don't know what I want to use as the connective tissue between those.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I want to go a little wild. I don't want to go too much unannounced stuff. The last two I have would be like unannounced, which I don't think there's a lot of, but those are my two kind of like, okay, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, I wonder what he's
Sorry, give
thinking.
me a sec.
You're fine. I wonder what you're thinking.
What's that one? What's that game that was announced that was like, I think it was like with the cartel or whatever, and had like
Contraband.
contraband. We get contraband. I'll just say that.
I have that on my list here too. I have that we get a gameplay
I'm
reveal
just
for
trying
it.
to mentally go through the backlog of games they've announced, but have shown absolutely nothing of before I get to the stuff that will probably get announced and show nothing of.
Yeah, I had
I guess
that
I could have gone
listed here.
Outer Worlds too, but yeah.
No, that's too far out. We got to see Avowed and get that before we see anything of Outer Worlds 2. Uh,
Yeah.
but anyway, I
Well, we
had
did see
Contraband.
no, we got a teaser of Outer Worlds too.
Yeah, I mean anything more than that. That was definitely just like a hey,
Yeah.
it is a thing that's happening, but we have nothing to show for it right now type of announcement in my eyes. But yeah, I had Contraband as well. I think it's a 2025 game. I think it gets a 2025 window.
That would make sense. If they're doing the roadmap, like I said, that would make sense to have something like that far out.
Yeah. All right. My fourth one, I'm going to start dipping into my third party set of games here. Okay.
Okay.
Um, and this one, I don't even think it's wild. It's not wild at all, but I think it's neat. Plucky Squire. Remember that game? That was the indie game Devolver where it's like in the children's book and it's 2D, but then the
Oh
character
yeah,
comes
that
on
game
now to
looks
3D.
rad. Yeah.
Plucky Squire launching into Game Pass. It's not confirmed for Game
Nice.
Pass already. I checked that this morning. It's not.
The deep cuts. I
Yep.
like
I
it.
don't I don't know I don't know a release window or anything like that, but I think it gets confirmed for Game Pass. It seems like the perfect Game Pass game right there. In a good way,
Yeah.
not a bad way.
Trying to see if there's anything third party. Now I'm like, should I do something third party? Because like that is the real question. How much third party support do they get? How much of that shows up? I
Mm-hmm.
do think there's like some. I think that's where a lot of the surprises could come from because first party seems so like condensed of what we have to
Yeah.
like. Yeah, I've come to expect.
I have
I
I
guess
have more third party ones here, but I have three of them that I actually think are like, oh, okay.
I'll just go. So for four, I'll go Gears 3. I was gonna say for 5, but
Oh, Gear 6, you mean?
I want it to happen. The coalition has not been like there was rumors that they were doing something else, then got forced back onto Gears. I don't know. I don't know why though, because Gears 5 was not like there was no real finality to it, despite it being awesome. I loved it. So that would actually get a pop for me. Like I care more about Gears
Yeah.
6 than I do any of the games I just talked about.
I
Like
legitimately
it just
forgot about Gears. So had I remembered it, I would have put it down as a prediction. I forgot it existed. So
yeah, no, I
that's a
didn't
great
forget. I
one.
just wanted to hold it. I was kind of surprised. I was like, he must not think it's gonna be there.
No, I
But
just
that makes
forgot it
sense.
existed.
Yeah,
No, that is a
I
great
get
one.
it. Yeah, especially if you haven't played the other ones and you have no real attachment to it.
Yeah.
Because like 5 came and went in a quiet way. It would worry me. We're not Microsoft and Microsoft not needing every drop of IP they can possibly get right now.
Yeah.
Um, so that's my 4. I legit will. I know I seem kind of disenfranchised with Xbox because I am a little bit because I'm like, show me something before I get excited for anything. But Gears 5 was so good that Gears 6 will get a pop for me.
Nice. Do you think you think you only have one more left in the chamber for Xbox, or do you think you could pull out two? That'll determine what I do for
Just
my
one,
Xbox.
man.
All right, so then
You can spout off all your crazy ones after, or
all right,
just whatever you got left.
for my official number 5 right here, I'll do my other wild prediction for Xbox. This game is not a Game Pass game. It's not a day one game. We don't get a release date in either release window, none of that. But they announce the next Bioshock. We know what's happening. I think they get that on their stage.
That's a good one. I could see that.
I think they do it because I think, aside from the fact that we all know that they got to show up with all their first party games, or at least a lot of their first party games, there's going to be some third party stuff there too, at least one or two big third party games. And I think being able to announce the next Bioshock would be a great one, especially since it's meant to be sort of like a reboot of sorts for the series or Bioshock 4, who knows. You could do that as a callback to the original Bioshock, which was Xbox exclusive for a time. This might not be exclusive, but just being able to announce the next Bioshock game on your stage with that history there, it'd be a nice, cool thing.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. That's a good pull. Mine, I'll go with awkward timing for 500 here. I'm sure it was cooler when they planned this uh before like everything had been shot down recently, but I think we get the new COD. I think we
Uh,
get it here.
I
Not obviously not announced as Game Pass or exclusive or anything, but like I think it's there. I think it looks, it looks very Call of Duty ish. And I think they'll like it would have felt more like a celebration of like, look what we've got. Were not for all the recent news, but they're planning these things way out ahead of time. You know what I mean? They're like, I don't think they're like Phil's like, let's pull it just because like it's still coming to our platform no matter what. Um, and I don't really have any other good third party pools. So this is like in a weird state right now of like, is it first, is it third? But yeah, I think they get caught on stage. And it looks, it looks fun. It looks like Call of Duty.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news of sorts, but there were reports, insider reports of sorts, that the next one is going to be announced in Warzone in August.
In Warzone in August?
Yeah, it would be the first time
What a
they announced
weird
it. They announced the game in Warzone before. Black Ops Cold War got announced in Warzone.
did it?
I think Vanguard might have as well, but Black Ops Cold War was announced in Warzone, and that was in like August ish. It wasn't too long before the game got actually came
Well,
out.
I'm not changing it. I don't have
Yeah,
any
I mean you don't
vehicles,
got to
so
change it if you don't want to, but I'm just saying that
I
last
don't
one.
expect to be super right with these. I have way less of a pulse on
Yeah, I
an
mean
Xbox.
in terms of my other Xbox ones like Forza in October, and that's a given. That's why I didn't have Hellblade in October because I think Forza's October, their October game for this year. Um, let's see. I think what Stray gets shadow dropped on the Game Pass. It's been rated by the ESRB for Xbox, so I think it's just going to be a shadow drop. Jet Set Radio, that reboot, whatever it is, I think that gets officially revealed coming next year. Will be on Game Pass, and that's why I think that's on Game Pass, and I think that's the Sega game that they get instead of like Persona. They get at least one,
Yeah.
and that's an easier get than Persona is, I think, for Microsoft to pull. Uh,
Also, Xbox just garner some goodwill.
yeah,
Release a physical copy. Announce you're releasing a physical copy of Hi-Fi Rush. Do us
please,
all a favor here.
that'd be nice. Also that game Slitterhead, which we got announced a
I
while ago. I think that one gets announced for holiday 2023, and it's launching into Game Pass.
see that.
So yeah, that's it. That's it for Xbox right there. Nothing else to say.
No,